Coach Ware here with Wrestling. Coach, if you could just recap your last duel of the season against Air Force, followed by a few questions.
Yeah, I mean, first off, big shout out to Coach Barber. Good person, good coach. Like I said, our guys got to see, obviously, Air Force, facilities, everything, man. So those guys got to get around and realize, you think your schedule, time, because we always preach to our guys about time management. And then they start hearing the schedule of those young men, of what they got to do and everything, and how they got to dress and what time they got to be up every day. Then they start to realize, well, I guess life ain't, we got more freedom than we know. So it was a good environment to see. And as far as the duel, man, it was a close one. It was a good one. That's what duels should come down to. Like I told Coach Barber, I think the main thing I was disappointed in is that should be like a bedlam. That's about the Colorado teams. More people should be there. High school. They finished up states, so ain't like they got a tournament. So it should be big time. With the battle of Colorado, and it doesn't matter that they're Air Force, but it's still an in-state battle. So our goal is to educate people on getting more people there and getting behind both teams as they go out there and they battle. But I'm grateful that it fell on our hands. We got the win. Had some guys step up. And hey, we even had some huge scares. But the deal is hey, at the end of the day, with our lead man, he fought. He was trying to do more for his team. And can't knock a guy for that, and we respect that. But coming out with the last duel, with the victory, we'll take that going into the Big 12s.
Coach, what did you see from the team throughout the entire lineup? Was it a mindset change, confidence, more emotion?
No. To be honest with you, the last couple of duels, guys have been, they pretty much been doing the same. They feed off each other and they get behind each other. And at the end of the day, we know it's not going to be an overnight change, but we're still trying to develop that killer mentality. We still got a lot of guys that their mindset don't think, score next. Let me score next. How can I score next? Yeah. Our guys can get comfortable with a 5-1 lead, and we got to push them to go think, hey, go get the major. They're afraid to go to that next level, and that's where, I believe summer training and repetition is going to kick in, of getting that confidence in those situations, having that mindset that we talk about of, hey, if I'm up 4-1, I'm thinking, hey, I can go get this major. One takedown changes the thing to where my mindset can go taste the blood and become a shark, and everything. So we've been feeding off each other on that, and we're going to keep doing that as we're going into the Big 12.
Coach, Don was pushed and tested in his bout. How do you think he handled the pressure and continued to stay in the moment to close out the 13-12 decision win?
I wouldn't say he was pushed. Dom was, destroying the kid, the young man, and you give anybody a 7-point swing, they can stay in the match. Dom was going for more points. He was trying to do more for his team, and it's happened to all of us. That one thing, when he went back to the locker room, he felt embarrassed and everything. I said, you shouldn't. I said, at the end of the day, that's happened to every single one of us. I said, I tried to go for pins, slipped, got called to my back, but the deal is, we fought off of it, and we didn't get pinned. I said, at the end of the day, your mindset can think, hey, I gave you a 7-point swing, which you're not going to get again, and you still couldn't get me, And once he started seeing it that way, he's like, okay. I said, at the end of the day, that's the highlight for that young man. And shout out to that young man. That young man, he fought to the brim and set himself up, and it might have gave him some confidence going into the Big 12. But Dom's, his mindset is thinking of bigger things, so he was looking to go scoring points, and one situation got him caught. So I'm not too worried about that. His mindset, when he realized, okay, there was a situation, I got too careless with it, got caught, I'd rather for it to get caught here than in the Big 12 or the NCAAs.
Coach, now that the regular season's over, what are some key takeaways from the regular season that can be taken into postseason play?
Well, I told the guys, now your record is 0-0. Nobody cares what you've done in the regular season. Now this tournament determines if you're going to Cleveland or not. It doesn't matter that you beat somebody, in a duel. Now this is where everybody comes together, and so we're going to see. You always hear the statement, "Go hard or go home." This is going to get put to that test at the Big 12s, and so at the end of the day, you're in a hostile environment. You're going to see nothing but orange and black. And we already know what that's linked to. So at the end of the day, you know, you're most likely gonna have to wrestle somebody from that orange and black. And you know, right now it's about rising up, because if you think Big 12s are scary, that means you haven't got a taste of NCAA's.
And then question from Ann Delaney from the Greeley Tribune. What is happening with the team from now to Big 12 Conference Championship starting March 6th? A weekend off this week, how do you use the time?
Yeah, right now it's about, you know, it ain't about taking it up a notch. You know, these guys have been training hard all year. These guys have been training hard since September. We've been going hard. What's the point of beating you down? At the end of the day, let you recover, let your mind get right, let you catch up in some schoolwork. At the end of the day, if you think, you know, you think you're gonna get any better shape and you think you're gonna get any stronger, it's not gonna happen. Now you can clean up a position, yes, in which our guys will do, but right now it's about, you know, backing off of them and you know, letting the ones that are dinged up recover and take advantage of that time. But also, you know, when we do train, it's, you know, it might not be as long, but it's short, it's impactful, get you out of there, recover. And that's how it is when you get to the Big 12s. You get in, you make your way, you wrestle, you get out of there. You know, that's the mindset of having to do what you need to do, getting ready for that Big 12.
And lastly, looking ahead, talking about Big 12s, what are you most excited about? What is this something that you want to relate to the team? Anything to note on that end?
I'm excited to see who's going to have a Cinderella story. You know, who we're underdogs. Let's be real. I mean, who's going to be the one to bring out the March Madness in somebody? We always talk about it in basketball. You're always rooting from some little team to come through and take out the big dogs. Who's going to be that individual to have their Cinderella story and take out the big dog? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's the good sport about wrestling. You ain't got, you know, 4 or 5 other guys to come and help you to take out. No, you got to be on your A game. It's you. So once again, you get all the credit and you get all the blame. You know, who's gonna come and create that Cinderella story? Because I mean, a lot of people, obviously they're doubting. They don't think, I mean, just what they've seen. But once again, we all love a Cinderella story. So we're going to see who's ready to step up and create their own.